Before we get started, how's everybody doing? Since I guess we need to make small talk at the beginning now, according to
Thank you for remembering how I run the show.
Lance's notes over here. I
Um,
just wonder what the bulleted list that you gave Lance says. Now, at the minute and 50 mark, make sure you ask this.
mhm, exactly. Whatever Aid says, disagree and ignore.
Yeah, figured.
Highlighted line.
Today marks our first Monday of Monster Maysh.
It was a
Where
Maysh. It was a monster Maysh.
Maysh. Thank you, Mikey.
You're welcome.
So today is our first day that marks the Monster Maysh month, which, is what it is. It's monster films or monster movies.
Oh, that's what
And
we're doing.
yeah, that's what we're doing. But we're not doing, it's not just like Universal Monsters or, that sort
Yeah.
of thing. We've done Bride of Frankenstein and The Mummy, I think, on the show before. Like we've done several Universal Monster pictures. However, I feel like there are a lot of good ones.
Then why didn't you
A,
pick one?
a lot of good ones. This is a good one.
Oh, hey. Oh.
Uh-oh. This is the
I
melatonin she's talking about?
I think she's gonna start mixing it with some wine in a second here.
clearly. Anyway, so today we are doing 1989. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
1989's Leviathan, which stars Peter Weller, aka RoboCop. But
Yeah,
like,
Alex Murphy.
Oh, that's where he's from. I was like, where is this like semi-attractive skinny guy from?
That in Buckaroo Banzai.
oh
You
my
mean
God.
Kangaroo Jack?
No.
Yeah, Peter Weller's in a lot of movies, ladies and gentlemen. But I love him in this film. I think he's adorable. I think he's got the cute little glasses. And I love the fact that we are underwater. And then we have
Oh.
Daniel Stern, who we all know and love as the fuck's his name in Home Alone? Why can't I think of his name in Home Alone?
One of the criminals, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's one of the robbers, but he's got a specific
Marv.
I
name.
mean, a lot of people know him
Marv,
as
yes.
Marv. Oh yeah.
What else do they know them from?
I was gonna say City Slickers,
Okay, City Slickers. I always remember
Bushwhack.
him. Yeah, these are all Lance's time.
What?
But
Like
and
just having he's a
he's
good
all
actor and he's funny.
yeah, he's the
Not this,
dad
he's an
in Little
asshole.
Mo he's the dad in Little Monsters. So, Daniel Stern's pretty popular, or he will become popular. So even if it wasn't at the time, here we are. And then whatever. Oh, and don't forget Ernie Hudson is in this one. So
There's another don't
Ghostbusters.
forget.
we love you. We love you, Ernie Hudson. And
R.I.P.
that's
Ernie Hudson. You forgot Meg Foster. Queen Meg Foster.
well, Meg Foster. I was getting there. But yes,
They
Meg
live.
Foster.
Well, you said Ernie Hudson like it was the final person. Like, and don't forget Ernie Hudson. So.
Yeah, but Meg Foster isn't well, she's in the movie, but she's not. I feel like that most of her scenes, obviously, she's doing it in a room because she's not with the rest of the cast. So it's like, not that I forget that she's in it.
I mean, you
Not
just
till
say
the
women.
end.
That's fine.
She doesn't see you don't see her with everybody until the end of the movie. So, but
I'm
anyway,
sorry. Thought we were just reviewing the movie. Okay.
so Meg Foster is in it, which if you don't know who she is from back in the day, yes, she was in They Live, but she's also in a shit ton of Rob Zombie horror films, like present day horror films. Yeah,
And she's terrifying in them.
she is so scary. Like she's fantastic. Like I know her more now than I do like back then, right? So when I saw her, because I've seen Leviathan before, but when they put it on HBO Max, I don't know, like a year or two ago, and I was like, oh, Leviathan, I can keep watching it. So I probably watched it like 8 or 9 times since I realized it was on HBO Max, just because I love like putting these types of movies on because I love how they all have this sort of the same formula, even Alien, where the beginning of the film like sort of establishes the setting, that it's in the future, and I believe that it's set in 2027.
Yeah. I was like, huh? That's like now.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I didn't even
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
not
so
have guessed that.
it's set in 2027. Mind you, this was made in the 80s, so obviously their technology doesn't look like our technology now. So you have to like suspend your, whatever of belief.
uh
But
I mean, it
you
could.
know,
I've never been in an underground laboratory, so
no, yeah. And so apparently this group is down there extracting precious metals. So they're mining for precious metals. And they're only down there, I think, for about 90 days. So they're not even really there that long. Like I always feel like because if when they send people to space, like they're usually there like a year or 2 years or whatever. But like 3 months, I think is a pretty good deal. And mind you, they only had a few days left when the movie begins.
I mean, you try being anywhere for 3 months with no alcohol, no sex,
you can have
and
sex.
They
guarantee you that'll be different. Well, you don't know, not everybody. I mean, maybe not
There's
everybody.
literally alcohol and sex on that laboratory. They show it. Well, I don't know about the sex. Sex you can have with anybody as long as another person's there, but there's like alcohol down there.
Well, the reason the alcohol is there is only because that's how the situation brews in this situation.
That's punny. You're so silly, Lamb. Sorry.
So Stan Winston does the effects for the film, and he actually directed a lot of the second unit action sequences, which the director like allowed him or wanted him to do, basically because he designed the creature and all of these other effects, so it would stand to reason that he would know how they would look on screen. Because even George was saying how he wasn't really sure how to shoot it himself, so having the effects people do it, I think is a great idea because they're the ones who design these things. And so would stand to reason that they would probably know how it should look on screen and give us the best of what it could be. Maybe that's why the lobster didn't look so great in Deep Star Six. So who knows? The plot of the film, I mean, it's pretty simple. Like they're perched in the hull of a wrecked Soviet freighter. A team of deep sea miners led by head oceanographer Stephen Beck, aka Peter Weller, comes face to face with a mutant creature that's the product of a failed genetic experiment. So I mean, basically they're in the last few days of their job.
It sucks because it's like the last 3 days. Like it's way more horrific than you make it sound because it's like it's literally their last 3 days. Like what shit luck would that be to have that happen to anyone? So it's like
Where would it like I mean, right at the beginning they have an incident because one of the suits almost implodes on someone, on the Hispanic guy in the ship.
Tony.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but they get him in, everything's fine, you know, it's all good, and then they have these fun little moments, much like Alien, where they're sitting around having conversations and just whatever. They go back out and they find the Leviathan stranded, which is the ship that they find out for other nefarious reasons why it is abandoned there. But at the time, they just go on it, explore. They find like a treasure chest or whatever I like to call. When they open it, they find a bunch of shit in there. But of course, our six pack, which I guess is a fitting name, six pack, finds Daniel Stern finds a flask, which he's a total pervert in this movie, people. So like it's like I kind of don't feel bad about anything that happens to him because I feel like he deserves it because he's gross.
If,
And
if you like him for any nice movie moments you've ever seen him in, this is definitely not the movie you're gonna keep those memories for him.
no, he's
I mean,
definitely a
he was
piece of
kind of
shit.
cute.
Of course, Mikey. Red flags
I didn't
everywhere.
say he was nice. I just said he was kind of cute.
Favorite part in this movie to this day is always the you know how like in the 90s where they'd have the dress scene in like whatever teen movie where the like different dresses and they're in the dress room, they're changed and they do like the whole thing. This is one of those movies where they do it with the weapons, where
Oh,
each
the
person they're like,
montage.
yeah, the
Yeah.
montage of this weapon, check out this weapon, check out the flamethrower, aliens, check out the chainsaw. Like it was like every movie you could think of, they were like, huh? Mm-hmm.
You
I was like
gotta rev
that
up the
dive.
audience, Lance.
Yeah. Or it's time to kick ass.
And they find out later that the crew on the original Leviathan were actually poisoned with vodka because they were a part of an experiment.
Guinea pigs.
Yeah. And so that's essentially what happens. Six pack pretty much brings the shit onto the boat and then infects everybody. Sort of like a zombie film in that respect, because I guess if you get bit or scratched, you get
Yeah.
infected with whatever this thing is. And it's pretty disgusting. It's pretty nasty. Like especially like the sores coming on his face and how he's dying like that, and then he does die, and they're like, "Shit, what do we do?" And then this whole time they're trying to get off the ship. They're trying to get the crew to come get them sooner, but they're like, "Oh no, there's a hurricane." We can't come get you.
I'm sorry. The whole thing could have been done easier if they had just said, "Hey, guess what? Six Pack died." Like they checked everybody else out. Like no one questions the fact they're all getting checked out. And they're like, "Oh, it's like a skin thing. Six Pack has it." No one says, "Hey, Six Pack died." Like
Yeah.
from doing something stupid. Like you would think a lot of communication, folks. That's all
Well,
you need.
they didn't want anybody panicking, and I can understand that. However, they did, let them know. It's just amazing how they find out all this information as they go along, because eventually they realized that the Leviathan had to be scuttled because they couldn't keep this under control. And then on top of everything, Meg Foster is up on shore writing a report that everybody's dead because they assumed that, they figured, okay, well, none of them are going to make it. So they're all dead. And then they find out because it probably would have cost more money to go and get them than it would have to just, oh, well, they're dead, moving right along.
Well,
That hurricane's
I took it more as like insurance. Like we can't get them because they could be infected and make it a bigger problem.
Yeah.
So even if I guess they would eventually die without any way coming up. So like maybe they'll just blow it up. But
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, they were mining for things, right? So I don't know how they would have gotten everything out, which would have been a great way to have like a part two, like, now who's going down to the ship to go fetch everything, and then they find all this
there's metal
stuff.
down there. We have to go
Yeah,
get it.
apparently that was important. But yeah, so I mean, I think that there was a lot to be said about this, and you can tell just between the direction, the acting, that we did have a pretty good cast at the time. It is a solid, in my opinion, solid horror film. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but I think, if I were to rate it, I would give it a 4 out of 5.
Oh,
Or 4.5 out of 5, probably. I do rewatch this a lot. It, it's one of those where I can just play it in the background, and I'm folding laundry or I'm just paying attention to it. Like, it's a good one to keep on. And I think all the characters are very endearing. You're not with them for very long, but you do tend to care for all of these people.
I would say maybe 3.5 out of 5, only because my biggest issue was maybe I just didn't know what it was going into it, but I thought it was gonna be a animal or something, or like, Leviathan is the sea serpent basically of the Bible. And so I thought, oh, like a monster, like a big monster, whatever. It's more of like a mutant growing organism thing, which is fine. It was still a good movie. I was just expecting kind of like a Deep Rising type monster. But the special effects are great. My favorite special effects moment, if you will, is when the Mexican guy dies and that snake thing is going in his chest. I thought that was real gross. And Ernie
yeah.
Hudson's like, I'll be back. He's like, no,
Which
don't
is
leave
fucked
me.
up
He's like,
because he's my best friend. I go, he wasn't your best friend enough to fucking take that thing off him
yeah.
earlier,
I
was
was
he?
like, you could have tried something.
Yeah. Like you were like, wait, remember Ernie Hudson's like, like,
Yeah, he's
what are
like,
you doing with your
oh.
hands? Like a Ricky Bobby moment with his
Yeah.
hands, like, I
Yeah.
don't know how to help you. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Dude, come on. Like,
But I
it's
thought
like,
that part was cool.
I kind of wish there was a moment where, because like you get a little bit of the Spanish guy within the body and like each kind of head, technically, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you see Bo's head kind of attached to Six Pack's head in the initial part where the body's on the tray. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh man, it would have been cool if there was like a stand-up moment where you saw the heads
Yeah.
within the body, still moving. I mean, maybe that would have unfortunately probably made the budget. Like, Stan Winston's like, that's gonna cost you.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a really great scene to kind of have like one of those final moments where like, he has the blowtorch in his hand, Peter Weller, and like you see all the heads like right at the end, because you only see like Tony's head, for a second. You're like, oh, that's all you're gonna give me, huh? Just one of the people who've been sucked into this giant orifice of a body, you know what I mean? But I guess technically Bo and Six Pack's body are in the ocean, actually, technically, right? Because they got the only thing because they got its arm cut off and they threw the rest
Yeah.
of it into the ocean. So technically their heads wouldn't be on it. But like the doctors
But she killed
and
herself. The monster didn't get her, right? Or did he get
Yeah,
her
no,
no,
she
after?
no, it was infecting her, and she realized like she was gonna end up like
Well, she
six
still
pack.
attached herself to the
She was
organism.
already dead, yeah, but the whatever took over her body, it was like a parasite. So whatever
Yeah.
took over her body, like dragged it and like sort of amalgamated itself to six pack.
If you cut something off of it, like the tentacle thing, is that thing alive too?
That's what
Yeah.
stayed on the ship was
Okay.
that.
Because I feel like there was a couple of those loose.
Well,
You would think,
that's the
right?
thing is like they did a good like I think feel like for you know they did some stupid things in the horror movie, but the one thing they realized they needed to do was get rid of it, right? Like get it off the ship. And they were actually smart to do that, in my
Oh.
opinion. And unfortunately, obviously it went wrong because once they got it off the boat, piece
You
of
mean
it
because they
stayed
didn't
on.
tell them what it was? So then when they thought it was their friends alive still,
Well,
Well,
that
it
even
was
moment.
besides that, I was like, do they not know this thing swims? Because I don't know what it is, and I'm pretty confident that whatever this thing is probably swims.
That the deep sea mining crew members begin to mutate and kill one another, and each body is absorbed into a conglomeration creature that has 3 or 4 different bodies combined with all of these sea creature elements. So, yeah, it's not necessarily the same thing that we see at the beginning because there are different ones, but whatever comes and gets them at the end, like that fucking thing is like Jaws because you really don't see it until that point, right? And then the movie's over. It
Yeah.
well
Yeah, how did
that
it not
before it kills
implode?
Ernie Munson. It's a seek. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's not a
The
human.
monster?
So yeah.
Yeah, because
I
I mean, like,
mean,
technically the whole thing, because like it has no more air, it would have crushed. Like literally, like it was still stuck in there. So there's no way to get out of it because they were going down that little path thing. So the only way out was that one path. Like how
oh,
did it actually get out? Actually, they were really breaking that down. Like
Well, there's two, right? Isn't there another?
then
Because
you're
it says
saying the
that at
other
the
one that
end.
got kicked out into the water is the one that floated up to get them,
Yeah,
not the one that was
yeah.
actually in the actual.
yeah.
Because it looked
Okay,
like
yeah.
exactly the same one.
They yeah, because it says here they make it to the surface, which is calm and sunny, and as they are met by the Coast Guard, the first mutant, which is six pack and Bo,
Whoa.
surfaces nearby and tries to take Jones,
Mm,
and
And
so yeah,
succeeds.
and
yeah.
succeeds
Um,
exactly.
Side note, if you're like me and you don't know who Stan Winston is, I think
Oh
it's
my God.
interesting the
Really? You don't
films that
know?
he no, he's worked on Aliens, Predator, and he even did the most recent Prey. So I thought that was cool. Godzilla versus Kong, Jurassic Park.
Hocus pocus.
Yeah, Terminator. Like
Mhm.
it's cool that even though we have influence from Alien, you actually have staff from Alien on here. So that's pretty cool. Mortal Kombat,
Mhm.
Goro.
Mortal Kombat.
Death becomes her.
Oh yeah, Stan Winston's like legendary and like effects
Okay,
and
so fuck me then. Jeez, Lance, I'm sorry.
no, but like it's truly no like it's I mean people and I'm sure there's people like you that don't know who that is. It's like I mean he is like the
People like
godfather of
me.
what. Gotta go there, huh?
He does a lot of obviously creature effects, the Stan Winston studio, right? People like I follow the page and he also has his own oh no, I'm thinking not Stan Winston. I was thinking of Mick Garris for
Oh
Hocus
my god.
Pocus.
Well,
I just went
Excuse
along
me.
like, okay.
You did. No, I'm sorry. I don't know
wait,
why
and
I was
aid and
thinking of
aid
Mick
in a
Garris.
Mikey format. Oh my god, I can't believe you did that. Oh,
Yeah,
Wow,
oh
I
Lance.
my
know.
god, wow.
It was
You
a
too.
flub. I know.
Woo!
Well, to be fair, it's past my bedtime,
Yeah,
Too
so
fast.
because someone was 33 minutes late.
Oh, it's me.
Yep, that was you. Thank you. But anyway, so the ending is pretty fun. I mean, I'm glad we had a justifiable ending. But yeah, I honestly this is always a good rewatch for me. So if you guys have listened to this episode and never bothered actually watching it, I would definitely highly recommend this one. All right. So with that, we're coming up to the episode. I just want to give you our Patreon members a shout out. You are allowed to have a voice on an episode. for our themes the next couple of months. So please make sure you let us know what you would like to see based off of the theme. And again, this month we're doing monsters. So, and also it has to be a monster movie that we have not done. So, go through the list if you can. Go through the Spotify, go through the Patreon episodes. Just make sure it's nothing that we haven't done before. Because obviously there's a lot of monsters in these movies. So we probably have covered monsters before in the past. So if you want to support us monetarily, you can go ahead and join our Patreon at patreon.com/slasherspod, where you get tiers from $1 to $10 or anything in between. We've got our merch. We've got brand new merch coming your way at slasherspod.redbubble.com. If you want to follow us and just like share our posts, just to support us in any way you possibly can, you can follow us on Instagram at SlashersPod or the Mutant Goons from Beyond. You can follow Mikey at Horror in a Half Shell. That's not Ho in a Half Shell. That's Horror in a Half Shell, not Horror.
Why would
Horror in a Half Shell. You can follow Lance at Zombie versus Hate. You can follow me at Pathologically ADE. Don't forget to show Doug and Hire some love and support them as well as their endeavors on B Movie TV for Friday Night Action and Saturday Night Terrors. You can still follow Jason. If y'all miss Jason, we should go harass him collectively at Jason Hill 63. He would love to hear from you, especially Gunn, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Austin.
Oh yeah, well, and don't forget to support our buddies over at Frightmares Podcast. We love you, Austin. Hopefully Austin will come join us at the Spooky Empire in May.
Whoop.
I know Slashers take Orlando next month, y'all. So if you're in the area and you want to join us at Spooky Empire, please make sure you come out on May 18th. We will be there on Saturday, and we may or may not be joining the floaty contest at the end of the night. So that should be fun.
Yeah. We better float because we're going to be freshly tatted and we can't touch the water.
We can't touch the water, so everyone's going to have to hold their skin up wherever the hell they get. Mikey's going to have to make sure his ass is out of the water because I'm sure he's going to get him in his left cheek.
I'm getting the burning sun around my hole.
There you go. Make sure you clench.
Bleach
anyway.
bubbles.
Ew. All right. So with that, thank you guys. Sorry for being cranky, but I'm tired. Goodbye and good die.
Goodbye. Don't die.
Die.
Our elusive whale co-host,
the Leviathan,
that shows up at the end of every episode. There's our new mascot.
It's like Dora from Finding Nemo.
No, it's Dory, not Dora. Oh my God, Lance. It needs to be like a killer whale with a knife.
That'll be our new mascot. All right.
Okay.
Aw,
bye.